the discussion, what you are emphasizing is that soy is a good thing to take. And what is the relation between soy and hypothyroidism interfering with the thyroxine absorption?
So there has been a lot of the research going on this. There are some studies which did show that they have an anti-thyroid-like action. But there are many large clinical trials also have shown at the levels at which we normally consume is unlikely to affect the thyroid. Iodine uptakes may be affected in some of the studies, but not in at the usual levels of soy intake.
Meta-analysis and a review study that I have read, the isoflavones in soy is not the same. You're talking about the gut bacteria, but actual content of isoflavone is also not the same in the Western population compared to the Eastern.
That probably depends upon the soil in which it is grown.
Correct.
Those differences will always be there. See, even within our country, depends on the region where a particular crop is grown, the agroclimatic zones and conditions, the active molecule expression will vary. That's one of the reasons Ayurveda is always says you must source a plant in a particular place at a particular temperature in a particular season. Only then you will get its benefit, which is 100% true. Same will be happening here too. But now it's not just the content, it's a question of conversion in the gut. Is what now has been proven as the reason why there's a difference between soy in the Western population versus soy among the Eastern Asian population.
So if a person listening to this podcast, if they want to increase their protein intake, they can include soybean as one of the source.
Yes.
And in addition to the pulses and legumes, and not having soybean as a only source of protein.
Absolutely. They need not change their basic dietary. Even let us say the tuar dal which we consume, or in the south, or the rajma or the chole kind of legumes which are consumed, all of them have a very good complement of amino acid, except missing, one of them will be missing in them. But if you combine them with either rice or roti, you will get all the amino acids, and they are also fairly digestible in the way we cook in India. We soak them and then we steam them or pressure cook them. All the anti-nutrients will go away, the bioavailability gets better.
So compared to plant protein, animal protein is better digestible?
It is 100% digestible. So because there you don't have fiber. So most of the plant proteins, the protein is also mingling with fiber. So the digestibility is a little lesser than the other one.
So that's why the bioavailability is slightly lower for plant-based protein.
Plant-based protein compared to animal proteins.
Is that clinically significant?
It depends. See, let's say I'm exclusively a plant food eater. I don't even take milk. Now, I will have, let us say, a plant protein digestibility of about 70%. There are ways of increasing that. Either I increase my total intake of protein by another 30%, if possible, or I process the protein which I eat. You process it so that the proteins become smaller units, and then they get digestible, better digested. So there are two ways of improving that.
So I have always practiced, and also I have taught my patients as well, that 80% have been plant-based.
Yes.
20% I go animal-based.
Yeah.
And the main reason is that when I go 80% plant-based, the fiber requirement gets met easily.
Yes.
So based on our discussion over here, if somebody listening to this podcast, they can say that maybe we can combine not only animal and plant together. Among plants itself, different sources of protein you combine.
Absolutely. Diversity is the best solution for getting the goodness of every plant source of protein. Each one is different from the other. So the amino acid content also, one may be high, one may be low. For example, soy scores over the other legumes because the methionine content is little higher than the others. Okay, so that is how soy has got a more complete than the other legumes, where methionine is little lower. But you could always combine a little bit of milk or curd along with your rotis or whatever. So you get the goodness of the protein from the cereal as well as from the milk source.
Milk source. Okay.